Hi guys, welcome back to my channel English in a Blink, and today I'm going to look at commonly confused words that sometimes have similar meaning or they sound alike and you often confuse them. So the first word for today is your bazaar and bazaar. So if I say I saw a bizarre painting last night in the bazaar, what does it tell you? Bazaar, B-I-Z-A-R-R-E, which means strange. So I saw a bizarre painting, that means I saw a strange painting. And bazaar, B-A-Z-A-A-R, which is like a market, and mostly in the Middle Eastern part. All right, that's where you call it like a bazaar instead of market. Bazaar and bazaar. Moving on, the second word or pair of words today is your counsel. C-O-U-N-S-E-L and C-O-U-N-C-I-L. So starting with the first one, counsel, that means like advise or to advise. So this person needs the counsel of a psychiatrist. Yes. So you think he has some problems and he could definitely, use a psychiatrist. So this person needs to the counsel of a psychiatrist. And then you have your counsel, C-O-U-N-C-I-L. That means like group that manages or advises. So you'll get to meet all the council members tonight. That is your counsel. Then the next pair is your duel. D-U-A-L and D-U-E-L. So the first one, D-U-A-L, that means something which has two parts, having two parts. And like with an example, so if I say it serves the dual purpose, something which, it serves two purposes. So that's when you have your duel. And duel, D-U-E-L, that means like a contest between two participants. So let's say the two men fought a duel over the lady. Lucky lady. Yes. Okay, so that is your D-U-E-L. Then the next pair is your, I just can't forget about two people fighting for a lady. Okay, so the next pair, like I said, is your cereal. S-E-R-I-A-L and C-E-R-E-A-L. So serial, the first one, is like happening in a series. So the picture are numbered and arranged in serial order. Like I said, something which is happening in series. And then cereal, that is your breakfast food or like an edible grain. So what is your favorite cereal? Mine is, let's say, I love cornflakes. Yeah, I love to have cornflakes in the morning. Yes, cornflakes, they are my favorite. Okay, so next one is your illicit. I-L-L-I-C-I-T and E-L-I-C-I-T. So I-L-L-I-C-I-T, that means something which is not allowed by law or it is against the rules. So let's say we're talking about a woman. So she had an illicit affair with her boss. Not good. And then you have your E-L-I-C-I-T. That means when you draw out a reply or a reaction. So it's difficult to elicit sympathy for criminals. Yes, it's difficult to elicit sympathy for criminals, isn't it? Okay, moving on. The next word is your loathe. So L-O-A-T-H-E and L-O-A-T-H. The first one, T-H-E, that means to hate someone or something. So I loathe these horrible roads, so many bumps, and I just don't like it. Okay, so that's when you loathe. And loathe, L-O-A-T-H, that means when you are reluctant or unwilling. So she was loath to admit her mistakes. That happens lots of times. There are people that just commit mistakes, but they don't want to admit it. So that's your L-O-A-T-H. Moving on, the next pair is your infer and imply. I-N-F-E-R and I-M-P-L-Y. Now they don't sound similar, but they're often confused. So when you infer, that means you draw a conclusion from maybe what you are watching or seeing or something when you're drawing a conclusion. So let's say sometimes you're watching something or you're reading a book and you don't understand a word, but you draw a conclusion. You understand, you try to infer the meaning of the word from the context. All right, so you can infer the meaning of the word from the context. You don't know, but you infer, you draw a conclusion. And then imply means that like when something like indirectly suggests something. So let's say your friend came, she was wearing a new dress and she asked you, how is it? And you said something and she thought that you think it's a little over the top or you didn't like it. So then you can say, oh, I didn't mean to imply that the dress, that I did not like the dress, or it was over the top. Okay, so you did not imply that, but that's what she inferred. Okay, so that's how imply and infer, they are different. So infer is like drawing a conclusion, and imply, that means somebody is indirectly suggesting something. So you don't get confused next time. Okay, moving on, we have dessert and desert. Now, people often get confused, and this is how I ask them to remember. Now, when you have your dessert, there's like a desire, okay? And that means you're talking about sweet course of meal. I love to have my dessert after my meals. So that's your dessert, when you have your desire, and that is when you are going to be stressing dessert. And then you have your desert, something which is like dry, waterless, empty area. That's your desert. Okay, that's your desert. So next time you confused desire, dessert, and then desert. Yes. Moving on, you have your current and current. current. That means something which is happening now. And then you have your currant. That means your dried grapes, just like raisins. So I love currants. I love eating currants. They are very good with their iron content. And current, what is happening currently, or what is the current news? Well, COVID, of course. Okay, so that's your current and current. Moving on, next pair is your freeze. F-R-I-E-Z-E, freeze. And F-R-E-E-Z-E. Well, I'm sure you know F-R-E-E-Z-E, which is something which turns into ice, very cold, so it's freezing outside. And then you have your F-R-I-E-Z-E, that means which is like a decoration along a wall. Now, if you have visited your, old beautiful church or an old building, now you will see, these decorations along the wall, especially above. So in a sentence, the beautiful temple has a decorative frieze, sculpted all along the walls. So that's when you have your frieze. The next time you're going to a beautiful temple, church, wherever, you got to see that. Next pair is your climatic and climactic. So climatic, as the word says, something which is related to climate. So what are the climatic conditions in your country? And climactic, that means creating a climax. So the climactic ending was the highlight of this movie. Okay, and the last word for today is your cue. So your cue, U-E-U-E-Q, and C-U-E-Q. So the first queue is like row of people or vehicles. I hate waiting in queues. I'm sure everybody does. And then you have your C-U-E-Q, which is like a signal to act. So when, I don't know how many of you actually been part of a play, or you've had a role in a drama, so you have these cue. This is the time. Now this is when your the character that you're playing this is when you're going to be entering. So let's say sometimes you will get to hear like a whistle, or so they'll show you something. Okay, that's your cue. So if and two people are talking and the first one falls, that's your cue. This is when you have to go. This is when you have to enter the stage. So that's kind of your cue, which is like a signal to act. Okay, so that brings us to the end, and I'm sure you're not going to confuse with these words anymore. If you like the video, do not forget to press the like button, subscribe, and spread the words. Until we meet next time, bye for now.